Hi, how are you? I recorded 20 minutes of speech and then the computer makes something. Boom, I lost all. I will try again. I would like to make something with concerning improvisation. And improvisation from my point of view, there is a lot of kind of improvisation. But in my opinion, for people who try to understand better music, improvisation is a way for understanding music. It's not something that we do for a public, for an audience on a stage. It's something that we do for ourselves. It's a way of understanding music. But for understanding something, it's important to start with very, very simple thing, with few elements. Not I don't know if this is good or bad, but what I'm sure that with this I learn nothing. I learn nothing. I cannot repeat exactly the same. I can't remember. So it's better to make simple things and use improvisation for understanding music. First. Second, improvisation is like making something in a desert or in a sea. You are in the middle of the sea. Where do you go in this direction, in this and this? You are a little lost. So it's better that you choose a direction: north, east, west, south. And for an improvisation upon a keyboard, I chose the register of organ because the sound is no? And I will do an improvisation around upon one note. So this note, each note, you can use each note. This note tell us something and create immediately, like if you draw a line in a piece of paper, this line immediately separate two parts, up and down, left, right. So create a relationship between. If you make a dot in a great paper, boom. But if you make before a line and then a dot, there is a relationship between this dot and this line. It's the same. I will use a note. In this case is a D, because I want to improvise on the white K. D or A are perfect for improvising upon white K. Each note is good, but D and A are easier. And this note, create by yourself a relationship, harmonical, melodical, because of course D has a good relationship with other D. Are bad or complicated relationship with other note, like for example C or E. And there are other interesting relationships between F with A there is a lot of there is something that you can know because you know theory of music, but something that you can listen because we know a lot also without knowing the word of what we know. There is an unconscious knowledge. Okay, I will start with D, and then we make something with the other hand, right hand, using one finger so you can follow me. The first way of starting is starting. Not immediately, the best way of starting. After some second, and then with a D. So I have a pedal D, and I will start with a D. After we will see what happened. now we can describe what I've done, because it's important when you make an improvisation not to describe but to try to think about what you did. I started with D, and I started with a pattern, one note followed by a couple a little faster. Two, two, two. Okay, it's not important to know the name, quaver, semiquaver, crotchet, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16. It's not number. And what happened after that? I did D, D, D. I changed note because D is perfect. D is wonderful. But if I remain of D, 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 could be some boring. Improvisation is to look for, to search, to make some like a trip, to go a little left, right, and come back on the bass. Normally. So I did D, D, D. E was dissonance. Have we to do? We must avoid dissonance? No. It's not this the problem in the improvisation. The problem is to recognize that what is the savor, the taste, the perfume or of a dissonance, and then to use as a dissonance for changing like and then I did E, and then F. F is a consonance, not like D. D is very so perfect that is a little like a circle, but F is a good consonance. Circa back, D, F, D, and then after that I did F, F, F. What happened? I come back. I went coming back at home. To again, the E, and then D, and this was interesting because upon the last D, I repeated the pattern. D, 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 and after a long D, there is the and. So, in these 3, 6, 9, 12, plus 4, 15 notes, there is a word, there is a schema, there is a pattern, there is a composition, there is something. It was improvised, but it was something, and this is, in my opinion, a good improvisation. Good not for the listener, good for me, for the people that improvise. I will repeat. So in this case, it will not more an improvisation, but a repetition. I will repeat it exactly the same, and we will listen, trying to remember what I did, what I say in my analysis. Okay, I stop a little the video and then I will make again another. So making this I will not lost all as before. Now I will make another improvisation. Some parts are the same. Pedal D, and I will start with D, and then we will see what happens. telling you that it's a good improvisation for the listener, but it's a good for the performer. I understand and I learned something. So, what happened? Pedal D, and I started with D. But this time I go in another direction, not upper, but down. And the melodical pattern was more simple, was just note and silence. Silence is part of music, yes. Silent is something in music, yes. Normally we think when we play alone that silence is nothing. That's not true. Silence is part of a relationship between sound, silence. So this improvisation was made by note and silence. And go down, and going down, the first was perfect, the second was dissonance, the third was a good sound together, is the sixth, the same of Verdi. Libiamo, libiamo, da, da. So there was a relationship, not perfect consonants, but was. And then the last one, A. This is wonderful. Listen. Why is wonderful? Well, there is an acoustical reason, because in my D, there is inside one A. So for this reason, D and A go so good. There is another thing to say, that the A in D minor is the dominant, is used to make at the end of the piece. G, A, D, the consonants. A, D. And in effect, when I arrived at D, I could go upper D, B, E, I'm sorry, A. When I arrived at A, B, C, D, I could do this, but I did 2 times D, A, and after D. Now we will listen this improvisation without speaking. In this case, it's not an improvisation, it's a repetition. Okay, now we will make the last sample for today. I will make like a trip with my finger without jumping, just the note 1, then I will make or the note 0 or the note 2. When I've been in the note number 7, after I will make 8 or 6. So all without jumping from because each jump is a problem for understanding, for recognizing, for remembering. So I will go melodical. And so we will see the musical effect, the significance of each interval. For example, these, or these, or these, or these. Each will be its color, but this is more important, the shape of the melody, like a diagram, going up and down, going up and down. best way of improvisation, not because I am doing it. In my experience, I did this thing when I was 12, 14, 16, and I guess that making this kind of improvisation, I learned a lot. I entered in the world of the music. So I hope that I will remember what I do, what I did. I make a trip going dum dum dum, starting with D, E, F, G, and then I come back. F, E, D. And then I come again, but a little higher than G. D, E, F, G, A, B. And then I think, if I could remember, that I repeat A, B. And then I would like to come back, but before come back, I got a little higher. C. There is the 7 note, not the 8 D. C. And then after the C, I come back, until D. Now we will listen again. Try to understand two things. The shape of this melody and also the effect of where I'm going, and where is consonance, less consonance, dissonance, and then this for me it's important that you understand at the end when I arrived B, C, and then this idea coming back at home. We will listen. I will not use a finger, I will use all the finger because the melody will be better. Okay, stop for today. I suggest you, if you have a keyboard is perfect for making improvisation. Also, guitar, you use one chord, like a pedal. Of course, you have to repeat because bang, they will finish. And then you make improvisation. You put another chord, string, not chord. I'm sorry, one string, and you make improvisation with another string. Or if you are alone without guitar, without keyboard, but you have a computer, you can, with the program, for example, Muse Score, you can make a score with a long note, for example, D. At Muse Score, this program play also what you write. You write a note long 48 times, and then with legato, tight, and then you ask, please, play, and then make boo, and you with a recorder with voice, as a voice is wonderful. But I need this pedal because they make a relationship. They make a bass. They make it. Is making a bass and give sense of what I'm doing. The problem with the voice that you can make some note that you don't know which note is. And of course it could be a good improvisation, but in this moment I think it's better if you know what you are doing. Not, theoretical, consonance, dissonance, accord, minor, minor. No, just know the name. D, F, G, F, G, A, B, C, B, I, G, F, E, D, the English English name of the note. I don't like that. Okay. Bye bye.